Well, the Smithsonian is known for its world-class museums.
And a Big Island man has been tapped to help the institution tell the story of Native Hawaiians. Jim Mendoza has more.
The world-renowned Smithsonian recently hired Hawaii's Halena Kapuni-Reynolds for a very important mission within the prestigious institution. The position he holds is the first of its kind.
I am the Associate Curator of Native Hawaiian History and Culture at the National Museum of the American Indian. With the Smithsonian Institution, it's quite a long title.
This is the first time the Smithsonian has brought in a curator who was dedicated specifically to one cultural group. The 31-year-old was born and raised on the Big Island.
My work in museums spanned about a decade. I started off working in collections here in Hilo as a student at the University of Hawaii at Hilo.
He holds a bachelor's degree in Hawaiian studies and a master's in anthropology, and he has extensive experience assisting on projects with museums in the 50th state and on the mainland.
I have always been fond of museums ever since I was a child because of the aspect of wonder that these institutions can cultivate in people.
He says working for NMAI is a great opportunity to provide Smithsonian visitors with accurate information about Hawaii's past. That includes topics like Hawaiian sovereignty. And he sees his larger role with the museum as being a facilitator.
You know, there are some great examples in Hawaii of institutions trying to work with communities and cultural practitioners to educate the broader public. And we also know that there are opportunities to improve that programming.
The Museum of the American Indian is in Washington, D.C., and there is a companion location in New York. He will work remotely from Hawaii to create exhibits, film viewings, and traveling shows.
We're in conversation to determine what does collecting look like for NMAI, especially around Native Hawaiian collections. But for the most part, my responsibilities for the next year will be to help with programming, helping to build relationships that were already established with Native Hawaiian communities.
And he will explore opportunities for the return of some Hawaiian artifacts from the Smithsonian, including the return of this large pohaku that is on loan from Hawaii Volcanoes National Park. The stone named Kanepo has served as one of the large markers outside the D.C. building since it opened in 2004.
A lot of my work will be determining that process, but any other protocols that might need to take place so that return is done in a pono way.
The Smithsonian has a mandate to include Native Hawaiian programs in the National Museum of the American Indian. Kapuni-Reynolds is thrilled to be the first person to be put in charge of making that happen. I'm Jim Mendoza for Hawaii News Now.